I wonder, like, if you get buried and you're like trying to disintegrate, and all that's left is like your filler.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, if you get a
Open your grave
BBL,
and there's like filler in your grave.
Wait, no, that's awful. When I have to excavate the bodies in my CIA program, I'm trying to become a CIA agent. This is
she decided in the beginning she
path.
wants to be in the CIA, and I was like, first rule of CIA.
I'm telling everybody.
You can't say you want to be in the CIA on a podcast.
Actually, or do tell everybody, and then they'll never guess it.
Exactly.
Welcome back to the Overheard podcast. I'm Emily from OverheardLA.
And I am Justina from OverheardLA, and another day, another rainy day.
We are coming to you live. Well, no, not live.
We're not coming to you live, but we are live in the monsoon.
Live in a monsoon. I know we've talked about the leaky ceiling before, but it is full-blown leaky ceiling.
They're calling it a Pineapple Express, which I thought that was just the movie. I don't even know what that means.
I thought that meant it was going to be tropical, like hot, and it is not hot.
It's not hot, and
sorry, it is raining.
It is
so loud. Do you hear this?
Let the rain.
It's gonna sound so
down.
Like.
I know. We're actually now we're just an ASMR podcast.
Welcome to Cozy Rain Time Hangs with Emily and Justina.
You're so sexual.
I wasn't trying to be sexual. I can't
welcome.
I can't help it if my NPR voice is sexual.
No, that wasn't NPR. That was like HBO
I feel
After
like
Dark.
This is like welcome to our cottage where we listen to Nora Jones and discuss the news and listen to the rain.
It does. I mean, I want to actually go to sleep on that couch behind you right now. I have no intention of staying at this mic for the next hour.
Remember when I got a snake massage?
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah. Literally right behind me. The snakes. Remember when we lost the snake?
We lost a snake. Oh my God, one got away and you had to find it. It went under the table.
It was under the table, and then it was too big to get out. Like, it really just stuffed itself down there.
We don't talk about it enough for how bizarre that was.
It was a weird
day.
It was a weird day for sure.
And I made you come with me. But
here's the thing. You did it for a cause. You did it for Overheard.
Yeah.
There's people doing it for no cause. True, just for themselves.
To give some context, if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, go to YouTube, because I got covered in snakes for our YouTube show, which I found this guy who does snake massages in LA, and he came here and he covered me in snakes for snakes. I don't know how else to explain it. And then to give further context, you did not have to get covered in snakes. No. You weren't even technically part of this show. But I literally said, can you please come so I don't have a mental breakdown, because you're my Scorpio mommy and you take care of me.
I will say that the day progressed in an interesting way, though, because we walked in
to hold the snake.
And I was like, no, I'm going to be over there miles away from this. I'll be here for you spiritually, but not like physically.
No, honestly, when I first proposed it, you were like, fuck that. No.
But then we got really into the snakes. And at the end we were holding, what was the white snake's name?
Popcorn. Remember when I was like, how long would it take Popcorn to kill me? And he goes, oh, Popcorn can kill you. And then there was the big one.
Which one had one eye?
Wink. Yeah.
Cute.
And then there was the giant one on my feet. And I was like, how long would it take this one to kill me? And he was like, about 2 minutes.
I'm just obsessed because the producer that day was so focused on getting the shot.
I know.
And the snake was and he was not moving, and I was like, hello, you're gonna get attacked by the snake.
The amount of people that were like, why, how, what the actual fuck, I could never. And I was just like, honestly, I would still rather do that than have a spider within 5 feet of me.
My thing is always is it gonna kill me? Yeah. So I'm like, the snake could kill me, don't love it. A spider I have no issue with. I actually this morning, there was a spider hanging in the middle of my apartment and literally looked like Spider-Man.
Are you a killer put outside?
Put outside.
You're so nice.
And I grabbed its little webby and I did it outside, and then I was like, oh, I put you out in the rain. I don't know if that's nice.
I didn't know you were a man, not a man, but
thank you.
You're a man of the house when it comes to bugs.
I'm the man of the relationship.
You are the man. No, I love all animals. I probably shouldn't say this publicly, but a spider comes in my house, you die.
Well, my whole thing with spiders is
or I break your legs as a threat.
That's fucked up. How many of the 8?
4.
You're half gone, bitch.
Well, because sometimes I try and whack it and they get injured, and then I'm like,
that's awful.
And then I'm like, well, he's gonna go back to his homies, and be like,
she's a
hey,
killer.
I
She's
tried
a killer.
to go
Get
in
out
there,
of her.
hostile environment. And he's going to tell all the other spiders, not the place to be. And I send a message
That's hilarious.
without killing, which is actually humane.
Yeah. I don't know.
Send
I
a
don't know
message.
that that's how it works, but I like it.
Like the Godfather.
But my whole thing with spiders is there's a superstition, which I'm not sure if it's Polish or just in general, that
Ooh,
if
teach
you
me something Polish.
well, it just if you kill a spider, rain comes, which we don't need anymore. So I'm never killing a spider.
I was like, are you sure that's not like a nursery rhyme?
No, it's
Like,
a superstition of
Rain,
some regard.
rain, make the spider go away.
No,
Polish. Not
I don't know
preschool?
that it's Polish.
Oh, okay.
It could be preschool. I went to a Polish preschool, so I don't know.
Like, are you talking about the itsy bitsy spider?
No, I know that one, you fucking asshole.
The lore. My friend was hiking in Malibu or like Temescal or something and took a video like on her Instagram of a fucking tarantula in Malibu. And
The tarantula doesn't bother me.
no, this is a big deal.
But here's my
am
thing.
never
But here's
hiking
my
again.
thing with the tarantula. I can outrun the tarantula.
I don't know, those fuckers are fast.
I'm not afraid.
Haven't you seen Jumanji?
Yes, I've been thinking about Jumanji a lot. New thing I'm doing here. This is something me and my friend do all the time,
Ooh,
but
I
it's
love a
like
new
a, what are you watching? What are you wearing? What are you obsessed with?
Oh, yes.
Tell me.
I'm obsessed with so many things. What are you watching? What are you obsessed with? What are you...
Okay, I'm obsessed with joining the CIA. Here's why. In this essay, I will tell you.
That was gonna go.
Here's the
Okay.
thing. I watched The Night Guard, also on Netflix. Very good.
Hadn't
Richard
even heard that one
Madden,
either.
I think, is the
Oh,
actor.
or the bodyguard? Wait, the night guard is what you wearing?
Are we sure it's not called The Night Guard? Hold on.
No, a night guard is what I wear. The dentist
Invisalign.
made me get so my teeth don't
I
grind.
think it is called The
Yes,
Night
it
Guard.
is.
No, I know that's
yes,
what a night.
it is. Oh my god.
You're gonna hurt my feel. The Night Agent. The Night Agent. God damn it. That's so funny. I just called it the fucking Night Guard. The Night Agent.
Like
Okay.
me when I wake up, like,
Okay.
my retainer.
CIA agent again has to like figure out this whole scenario. There's like a mole in the like whatever. Great. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
in. But as this is happening, I'm like, I could do this. I could do this.
But I think you could do it also. Don't get me wrong. I think you'd be a great CIA agent. But I feel like the first step to becoming a CIA agent is not voicing it on a podcast.
No, I know that.
you
That's
wanna
why I
be
could
in the
never be.
CIA.
I feel like I could only now at this point play one on TV, but I just like I'm obsessed. So by that show, I'm now Googling like CIA job openings. I'm like, I want
So
to,
if anyone out there knows of an opening in the CIA,
yeah.
slide into Justina's DMs.
Then we moved on to another show. That name is escaping me. Fuck, it'll come back to me. Also CIA. I'm on show 4 now of the
About
CIA.
I had no idea this
Well,
was your
the
obsession.
show 4 is MI6, so also open to do it abroad.
Okay.
But this is my new thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you guys do not see me on the podcast going forward, you'll know why.
Our guest is Beth Stelling. I'm a huge fan of hers. She's a comedian and a writer. She's got 2 critically acclaimed specials. One's on HBO Max and one's on Netflix. Her first one that came out that put her on the map is called Girl Daddy, which is a great name. And she's the jewel of Ohio. So we
Hell
can talk
yeah.
about the Midwest. Beth Stelling is coming.
Woo!
Thank you for having me.
I'm very, very excited that you're here. We've both watched Girl Daddy, your second special,
Thank you.
The Raccoons. You've got an upcoming podcast called Sweethearts coming soon, which is very
True.
exciting.
With Mo Welch.
Do you listen to podcasts? What are your
I
favorites?
don't. I've been trying to make myself lately. It's the same reason I have these notions where, like, for example, when I first started stand-up, I didn't watch stand-up at all. And I wasn't even a student of stand-up, so I didn't even start it thinking, like, I knew I wanted to do it. I always loved watching funny movies, and my comedy intake as a child was funny movies. And so I didn't really even know about stand-up until someone in high school introduced me to Jim Gaffigan. But even after that, I was like, maybe I'd want to do that. And when I finally decided I did want to do it, I was like 22. I was like, I'm not watching or listening to any stand-up because I was just terrified of stealing.
Yeah. Wait, so have you since, I mean, one, that's incredible that you drove here, You're not a Nepo baby.
No.
You did the damn
No,
thing.
I didn't have any connections.
Have you since been able to tell Jim Gaffigan that he inspired you to become a comedian?
You know,
'cause that's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm like,
I feel like he'd be like,
Jim, I guess for me, whenever I see Jim, I try to give him his flowers, but I think about that often, which is like sometimes people will come up to me or now, because sometimes comedy feels like high school, stand-up comedy feels like high school, and you come in as a freshman and you like look up to these seniors. So Jim is like, a senior, and I look up to him. But now that comics are younger and coming up to me like, oh, I really like your stuff, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm like the big sister now. And another theme of talking to so many comedian moms, like a lot of comics are the youngest of the family.
Oh,
not all, but a lot of them are the youngest.
Oh, interesting.
So I have this little kid sister mentality, even writing on television shows and doing punch up for comics I love and writing jokes for people I look up to. It's like I have that kid sister mentality. And now that I'm aging, and comedy also keeps you sort of like, for lack of a better term,
keeps you
infantile, arrested development. And so you have that sort of like playful, and you're also not growing up. And I've made different choices in my life that because of comedy. I'm not leading that, exactly like marriage, family, settle down type thing. And so now that people are kind of coming up to me, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. I'm just sort of like, oh my goodness, like I'm a senior. And it changes the way you act, and it changes how I perceive how Jim might perceive me.
Oh, interesting.
Meaning like, I don't think I need to tell him he's good. Of course he knows. And then meanwhile, I'm like, I'm trash. Every comic needs to hear that. And even when people come up to you after a show, like, I don't know what I'm talking about, or I don't want to make it weird, but I think you're funny. You're like, oh no, that's how I survived. So
Yeah.
Please.
Validation
tell me
is
your
always
vibe.
good. Like we need this.
But yeah, so I have definitely shared with Jim that I'm a fan, but whenever the Max special or HBO special that came out, Girl Daddy, a couple years back, I had posted a clip and he commented on it that it was brilliant. And I was like, this made my
Well, hopefully he doesn't hear
life.
this, so that doesn't out you as being super inspired by Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, nobody tell Jim that he inspired me. In fact, if anything, I listened to Jim's album and I was like, I could do that.
I know. We were like, well,
And then I did it.
he
you
can
know?
do it.
I could do
With all
anything.
9 kids or whatever he's got. I do.
Is that
Anyway,
true?
sorry. I just
Does he have
say that
9
all the
kids?
He has a
time.
ton of kids.
I don't know this.
He's got a big family, I think.
Jeannie is his wife, and
Maybe not 9.
she writes
I should probably
for him
correct
as
that.
well. She's very funny.
Oh.
Love to get in
And
the
yeah, they do
family.
have a lot of kids. I forget exactly how many. I think it's 5.
We'll get a fact checker one day and we'll find
Yeah.
out.
I'm desperate for a fact checker.
I do love the part in your special where you talk about just because Overheard LA and what we do, where you're like, I'm going to age in Los Angeles because there needs to be a control group.
in LA.
So good.
That was one of the best lines.
Yeah, I feel like I should offer to put a GoPro helmet on and just like
Just,
let
like, to the
people
face.
do the
Time lapse.
time lapse on my face. Because like, like anything in our culture, there's trends.
There's
you don't want to
too
be
much.
stuck with this
Right.
Your face
fat
should
ass
not be a dress.
when the little ass comes back in.
Yeah.
The problem
You're gonna be looking
my
like a huge
issue-
fool.
My issue with that is
that?
like the celebrities will do it and they can afford to then like
Undo it.
rescind their ass or whatever on ass. But I'm like, all the other people, like we cannot afford to unass. So you
Yeah.
really have to like plan accordingly.
I like
I've already tattooed my eyeliner on.
Yeah.
I'm screwed.
The people that do that too don't even. I like being
But
the
the
control group. I
microblading-
just love that.
That is a great
We are the
line.
control group.
My
It
brain
helps
just
too when you're. It helps when you're still young. Like there is something that comes with aging that you have to face.
Yeah.
And, as you watch your face change, it does get scarier and scarier. So it's like you can feel I can make these jokes in what is at this point a fairly safe space because I'm still looking at myself and I still recognize myself. I'm changing and I'm having wrinkles and all those things are happening to me. But I think there is something you go through that is a very real feeling, and I know it's going to come, and I'll just have to embrace it and hopefully feel happy in myself and be with a partner who like is into me eroding with the earth.
Eroding. Well, no, you'll look way less
I'm
scary.
obsessed with calling it eroding. That makes it
group.
less scary.
I'm
Control group
recyclable and I plan
eroding.
to stay that way. Yeah, if all of our bodies had to be I wonder like if you get buried and you're like trying to just what's it called? Disintegrate. and all that's left is like your filler.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, if you get a
open your grave and
BBL,
there's like filler in your grave.
Wait, no,
because
that's awful.
Hold on.
They have to, when I have to excavate the bodies in my CIA program, I'm trying to become a CIA agent.
Well, she decided in the
New career
beginning she
path.
wants to be in the CIA, and I was like, first rule of CIA.
I'm telling
you
everybody.
can't say you want to be in the CIA on a podcast.
Actually, or do tell everybody, and then they'll never guess that.
Exactly.
Hold
I
on,
think
though. I have a real.
Yeah, sorry.
I have a real science question.
Okay.
Tell us.
This is why we need like a doctor on this.
I was going to
podcast.
say, ask the two scientists here.
You have no. I've never thought about this. If you have like things that, so say you've got some fake titties,
Yeah.
silicone, whatever, and your body disintegrates to bone, like you're buried.
I believe those are not biodegradable.
Would it just be like a little skeleton with two boobs?
Yes. I think it would depend on how they fell, like meat on
Right?
a rhino in the middle of Africa. Like, how does it fall on the meat? Like, maybe one gets hooked on a rib and the other disintegrates on top of the ribs. And then people will be touring the apocalyptic earth, and they'll be like, and as you can see here, fake titties used to be in there, like, fake titties.
I know. And then
We
the
can't even
people
find
with the butt
food.
implants would have little like gel pads. On
Yeah. I guess, like,
Oh, no.
yeah.
I can't wait
some
till
people
we're
get just,
studied.
what is it? Just straight up caulk their ass. Like, fake stuff.
Oh, like cock, like
yeah, like in a
like when you
tub.
feel grout.
Yeah, I feel like I've watched enough botched episodes. People
Isn't
are
it
doing all
fat?
kinds of crazy
Don't they
stuff.
get like fat?
Well, I think you can either
injected?
do a fat transfer, but I think you're right. There's like
I just
another
like the idea
procedure.
Probably
of
best.
caulk, like
Yeah,
what
like-
you do to fix your
But
bathroom.
some people don't have the like right. I've learned that like there's different. I have
your
enough
fat
for all
won't
of it.
take.
But there's like different
got
parts
nice
of the
face of
fat that you can take or can't take.
There, everybody can take ice cream to the face, and that kind of fills out certain spots. Some people are luckier than others where it goes.
Exactly.
I have friends that are pear shaped that it will always go to their bottom parts.
I'm a pear friend.
Yeah, I feel lucky that for the most part it's pretty evenly dispersed. But when I'm like training or playing more field hockey than normal, like I do miss my fat. Like I'll lose it in my boobs and my butt, and I find that sad.
Yeah, you're like an athlete. You play field hockey.
I've been not, yeah, lately. I will say since I just played.
Anyone who plays a sport is an athlete to me,
Yes.
by the way.
I just played for the U.S. Women's Masters team in the Pan Am Continental
really?
Cup in
What?
Argentina. It was in December, and
so
we got
you
silver.
Are an
Yeah,
athlete.
but then since then I've like kind of been doing nothing and eating my weight in sugar, and so I do feel like I'm getting some of my fat back, which is nice, but I'm also dreading having to like train again.
But then you get those boobs back.
I feel like a lifetime athlete is not the person who like dreads running, but maybe
I don't
think
know.
everyone
I
dreads
think
running.
yeah, I do think that.
I don't love.
Oh, so that's your JVN thing. It's like
Yeah.
you're secretly a.
I do. Yes, I
Olympian.
started playing field hockey again. Well, I started out. I found a team out here
Yeah.
years ago, and then I just started taking it
How
more
long have you been
seriously.
out in LA?
Since 2011.
Oh,
What is that? Almost 13 years.
so that makes you like. Do you consider yourself an LA person now, or you're like, no,
Yeah,
I'm
I
from
think so.
Ohio?
I definitely. Ohio will always be home for sure, and I love Ohio. I'm from Southwest Dayton, Ohio, which is where I shot "If You Didn't Want Me Then," which is the Netflix
Yeah.
special. My last one. I'm like, I love going home. I always love Ohio, but there's nothing like going on tour and flying back into LA. It does feel good to land here and be home.
Does your dad like being such a star of your specials?
He's loving it. I mean, look, I flash his website when I talk about his business because
Well, this is what I was also wondering. Has
Yeah.
his business picked up since your special?
so he did have, I think it was a hip or a knee replacement a couple years back. So he took some time away from the business, not long. He goes out and promotes my special with a big
Oh.
sign, and he promoted Girl Daddy and If You
Wait,
Didn't
do
Want
you
Me
know
Then.
about
That's
her
so-
dad's business?
Yes,
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, of course.
Like, should we explain it? to
Yeah,
those who doesn't know?
for those who don't know,
yeah,
which,
I'm like
you
perhaps
know.
the audience doesn't
Yes.
know.
I'm big on stars on call.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm very bad at self promotion, but I keep mentioning the specials because it's like I want to say like it's real what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I think sometimes sometimes comics exaggerate for sure, and I'm just telling you that like when I'm talking about my life, it's my life.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I've written some jokes about it, like you can tell what's a joke. Would say, but anyway, the stories aren't exaggerated.
We'll promote them for you. Your specials are very good.
Thank you.
They're
So
very funny.
I sort of introduced my dad, I would say. I think I've talked about him in previous specials, but I would say in Girl Daddy is when I say what my dad does, which is most people will consider it sign spinning. You know, you go out in front of a business and with a sign, and it's usually like a young teen who like hates their life. It has earbuds in, but my dad's like fully dedicated and very into it. So, but he's been doing that since we were kids. So we either helped him. He also did Santa Claus and stuff like that. And we would like, there was plenty of times where like I dressed up like an elf to go be a Santa with him. And similarly to him dressing up like Blackbeard at this putt-putt place and me calling him dad on accident, he'd always be like, you can't call me dad when I'm Santa.
Well, he's method. He's
Yes,
full,
very.
Yeah.
And we went and did a kids preschool where we were supposed to show up with the presents, and I did accidentally call him dad in front of the kids, and they were kind of smart about it. They're like, "Is that your dad?" I was like, "Yes." I mean, as an elf, you know, he is Father Christmas, and they were not buying it. But I feel like I did blow his cover on that one a bit. But that was fun growing up to be around that and playing all the costume stuff. Very different, obviously, than probably most people's dad. So when it came time to like sorority rush or something and people were like, "What's your dad do?" I'm like, he's a leprechaun and a slice of pizza as well, you know. So I was never like embarrassed, but I wasn't in the, you know,
Show and
fancy
tell.
girl, I suppose, sororities. I don't think they found it appealing. They're looking for the doctors and the lawyers of the world. But anyway, I took a tangent. I forget where we were going with this, but the point is
It has
He was
his business.
Yeah,
picked
yeah.
up.
if anything, calls have increased, but it's just to his cell phone, and that's kind of on you if you call, because you will be trapped in that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
And then he will follow you
Yeah,
to book that sign spinning job. So
yes, some sort of like
a
call at your own
podcast,
risk.
you reschedule.
He
will
loves-
find you.
He loves chatting. So if you call my dad's business,
I mean,
he'll
I'm
chat with
tempted.
you.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
but
you could call and just be like, "Hey, I'm a friend of Beth's. I just wanted to see what's up."
we are going to do our business for the day, which is we get a lot of DMs.
Okay.
Obviously, not
Yes.
us personally. Our OverheardLA.
Well, us too. That
Well,
was
us
rude.
too.
You're like, we're fucking losers who've
You're
never gotten a
important
DM.
too.
We're
You're the
important
face
too.
behind it.
Behind the
The
faceless
beautiful
brand.
face. The beautiful faces.
So we dive into our DMs and we get a lot of stuff from our audience. So this is our like letters to the editor segment.
Perfect.
And this is going to be a fun one. We have been wanting to do this for a while, where we asked people their most embarrassing moments that are really funny, and they're very LA.
Okay.
So I just want to know your thoughts on some of these.
Yeah.
since you seem to be down for that.
I am.
My first one being the favorite, throwing up on set in front of Christian Bale.
Ooh. Throwing
And then
up.
I was like, have I ever thrown up in front of a celebrity? No.
I mean, somebody I dated, you probably know now, but at the time, I just barfed in front of a regular person.
Wait, you barfed in front of a
Regular
soon
person
to be
who is now
celebrity.
more popular than he
Oh,
was.
can you tell us who it is?
I mean,
You'll tell us after.
I'll tell you
Emily's
after.
trying to get
I
the
wanna know
gossip
who she
ever.
threw up in front of.
But it
I'm
was
just
more
curious.
like he was trying to help. It was my boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was trying.
I'm like, I think that's
Yeah. It was my boyfriend, and he, you know, whatever. I have nothing like bad to say about him.
Yeah.
There's times where you go, yeah, I can say what went wrong with us, but they're gonna make it fine with someone else.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it makes a lot more context when you're like, I was dating him. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I think
no,
no,
but
but
this person throwing up in front of Christian Bale just
Yeah.
randomly.
But I do want to know, like, I'm like they were sick, or like, what is the?
So they were on set. They went to Crafty. They were like, "Hey,
Oh.
I'm gonna eat this shrimp and take a gamble."
Oh, crafty shrimp.
I don't
know.
think you can
I'm
gamble.
Crafty shrimp.
I'm throwing stuff out there as
Yeah.
possibilities.
Crafty shrimp is like a sick.
Are
band
they a
name.
background person? Are they a
Wait.
co-star? We don't know.
I'm obsessed with you right now because every time we do a mailbag, I'm like, I have further questions. I
Yeah,
need to know
like, I
the
want
background,
the
and you're
whole
just giving me
story.
background.
I'm like, here's what happened. It was shrimp day.
It was
And it set out a little bit too long.
It was
And
gumbo day.
It was gumbo. And they were like, I'm just going to go for it, even though perhaps it's not the best idea. It's been sitting out for
like
hours,
the
and I'm at the
Titanic
end of the lunch
chowder.
window. And then they called action.
Do you know?
I'm not
about,
brave.
Do you know about the Titanic chowder?
No.
No.
Separately, do you know about this?
No.
Sorry, I know a lot of Titanic lore because it's my favorite movie. This is a
And?
real thing that happened. That there was a night that the Crafty, they all had like clam chowder. The entire
Hold on,
crew.
you're talking about the filming of the movie
James
Titanic.
Cameron's
Okay, sorry, I
Titanic.
thought you meant the
James
physical
Oh, no, no,
Titanic,
no.
and I'm like, crafty.
There was a night on the Titanic that was real bad.
I
You
think
guys,
I'm like, I don't
things
think it
went
was
bad.
called crafty on the Titanic.
But when you said shrimp night, so there's a night they're filming Titanic, like James Cameron's Titanic, and the clam chowder was laced with PCP.
No.
Yes, this is a real story.
And, and who did
And
this?
everybody, like, they never found out who did it. Like James Cameron, Kate Winslet, Leo, every single person a crew member that ate the chowder.
How did we not know
like
this?
tripped balls, and people went to the hospital. Like,
What?
Yeah, sorry, that was a
What does
tangent. but
PCP do?
I have no idea.
What if it was a clam that ate PCP and then found its way into the chowder?
Oh, it could have been that.
A
I have
rave
only
clam.
read that it. I've only read that it was laced, but I like the idea of a suspicious clam.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna get in there.
And then how did they know it was PCP? They like did
I think the people that went to the hospital probably got.
They tested positive for PCP. What is PCP?
I think
don't really
PCP
know.
makes people really like insane.
Like seeing stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm scared of drugs for the most part.
I mean, I'm way scared of that
Me
one.
too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a baby, but
I'm,
anyway.
I'm the person who's like, okay, I'll try mushrooms, and then friends are like, oh, we need more. I'm like, I'm good at where I am.
I like
Yeah.
the baby, like.
I'm just
So
too scared to feel
I
out of
mean, this
control.
person who threw up sat in front of Christian Bale,
Yeah, it's like,
not Titanic.
did he see it? I don't know. Was it eye contact, like with Christian Bale? Like,
I kind of wish it was. I love back in my like going out
Sorry for
days.
that, Yarf.
I used to throw up a lot.
You did?
Standing up, I could never get myself to crouch down.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I was like
Standing
So
up?
you would drink a little too much and then barf.
Yeah, and it was like I was one of those people that could like puke and rally, and so I would puke a lot, and I would
Yeah.
puke. Like I've thrown up in plants in people's yards, and I like love to make a quick eye
The
contact.
plants were better for it. They grew to new heights.
Well, the problem is that it was
really
inside the
endearing.
lobby of my friend's apartment building.
It was a fake
It was a
plant.
fake. It was not amazing. It's not my proudest moment, but I have done a lot of puking. It doesn't bother me. If somebody puked in front of me, I'd be okay with that.
So they barfed in front of Christian Bale. He was my first crush, crush. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Newsies.
Oh, like when you realize
Oh
you're into.
my God,
yeah.
yes.
Like when
I
you
was like,
when
wow.
you have like a sexual awakening as a teen.
yes.
Yeah.
He was so hot.
Wait, who
he
was
was my-
yours?
Yeah, your
Leo.
first like crush.
Oh.
Leo
I
was
think
also,
Leo.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
incredible. So hot.
When you're, like,
Although
a child and you're like, I'm into
Hanson
this.
brothers were
Hanson's
up there.
great too.
There was
Jonathan
like a
Taylor Thomas.
God damn Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I saw a photo of him
Ryder
recently.
Strong.
So hot.
There was a lot of hotties.
And the
back
guy from
then.
Brink, the bad guy.
Leo has had enough.
Yeah, we're a little old for
We
him.
know a little
also.
too much about. Yeah, we're too old for him now.
We're definitely too old, but
We know about his tastes.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like when you find out like someone's into a certain type of thing. You're like, well, that's not me. So
yeah.
Yeah.
you like having the fantasy that they might like you.
Is Christian Bale like your hall pass?
I know. I don't have one.
In
I
your
will say I'm
current
so into
relationship?
my boyfriend. It's like nice.
How long
That's
have you guys been
nice.
together?
We just met in the summer, like in July.
Congrats.
But
Do you say
that's-
congrats
that's
for love?
sweet. I think
Congrats. That's really sweet.
Because I thought I would never love again. I'm not in a sort of sad way, but you just when you're like emotionally bereft and like
Yeah.
romantically paralyzed, I was very done. Yeah. And
it's
then
always
sort
when
of
you're
like-
done. That,
Yeah, I
like,
was very
someone comes
done.
along.
Anyway, it's nice to be able to feel again.
That's so nice.
Yeah. Just so
Yeah.
but you can't hear it. It's like trying to tell your friend to break up with the guy who's bad. You're just gonna keep doing it
Yeah.
until you're done.
That's so true.
It's
But the
I did
fact that you're thinking of him over Christian Bale means a lot.
Yeah.
I just like the fantasy.
It's
like
fun
I'm
to
like,
talk
oh
about.
yes, of course. Like Ben Affleck could come
Sure.
swoop me up for a date.
Is that
Yeah.
yours?
No, I don't know why. He was the
Okay.
first person that came to my mind. Like in that moment, I was just like celebrity fast.
I mean,
know.
he used to be, but it's like we all know too much now.
We know
There's
too
just,
much.
There's just too much.
We
all
do know too much
each
about.
other.
It's true.
I agree with that.
We all need to know less about each other.
Keep more secrets.
I'm single, so
Not
I
these
don't need a
people.
hall pass.
know,
Oh yeah.
but we
Oh my God, we
Well, I
forgot.
was gonna say not these
Sorry.
people because I love these people.
I apologize.
I love-
I'm,
don't
I'm
apologize.
participating in the
We
ramblings.
love a
No, no,
tangent
we-
here.
Somebody reel me in.
I dumped her
No,
in the
please
Britney bin.
I'm in the Britney bin.
Back to other people's embarrassing moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not ours.
We've never been embarrassed.
I mean, we're not going to get through them all. There were the one that killed me. Where was the one that killed me? Oh, I reached out to grab a pizza box and my date held my hand.
Oh, like she went like this and then he grabbed her hand. That's so cute.
That's like that video.
sweet.
Have you seen the video of the person at the dentist?
Yes.
Yes.
He's like going like this for the
Yes.
tool, and she just goes.
I always wonder, like, because now it's become
That
a little
stuck
bit like
with
what's
me.
real and what's fake.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you want to live in like everything's real, but
Yeah.
These are anonymous, which makes me think they're actually real because nobody's doing it for clout.
yeah, that's true.
Like-
That's true.
God, that one just stuck with me.
Reaching for the pizza box and having it be someone's.
That's That's cute.
I
I
mean,
know. We
it's
have to
mortifying,
encourage
but-
vulnerability for people.
In 6th grade, I bumped into a guy and my braces got stuck on his shirt and ripped a hole.
No.
That would scar me for life.
Oh my gosh.
That's like, that stays with you.
so
Especially if
funny.
it was like,
No.
I don't know, an
Hottie.
Abercrombie shirt. And he was like, this is
Oh.
really expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe he cared about it.
The little hottie in class. with,
But
like,
that
the
could also be
shells.
like a really nice meet cute. Like you ripped his shirt with your braces and then you bought him a new, like your mom made you buy him a new shirt and then you like go to his house and you guys fall in love.
I feel like that person is still like in therapy over that.
There's something about
I was scared that it was going to rip her brace off or something.
Was that you're gonna say like nipple?
Oh, no. My first kiss was someone who had braces.
Did you guys lock braces?
I didn't have braces ever,
Oh.
but they
you didn't have
did. No, I've
Right.
just learned to
tangent.
smile.
You've got good teeth.
Thank you. I used to smile full, like, you know, and I don't have like, anyway, I've learned to smile, so it looks like I have very straight teeth. Yeah, his braces like just really kind of pushed into my lip.
Ow.
But he was also laying on top of me because I was like much taller. I've always been tall. So he wanted to like lay down for the first kiss so he wouldn't have to like,
Oh,
kind of smart on his
hilarious.
part.
Short king
Are you
strategy.
that tall? You like didn't
I'm like 5'9"ish. Yeah.
that feels very normal. I'm 5'8". Like I'm like
Yeah.
I don't
I'm really short, so everyone's tall to me.
Yeah.
I don't really know the difference. To me, if
Yeah.
you're taller than me, you're 6 feet tall.
But think about that age, I mean.
Yeah.
Bar
Yeah.
mitzvah time, it's like you're much taller.
And the boys are
I-
little.
and the boys.
and it's
that's always
awkward.
tough. I was like the tallest girl for a long
I was
time
tallest.
and then
Which is fun to be line leader until they flip it on you.
oh yeah, and then
tallest
tallest to the
last.
back.
Rude.
I fucking hated that shit.
Oh, we never were ordered by height, but I was always first because my last name starts with a B.
What if you were like, in my town, we were ordered by beauty?
I was always first because it's who's the prettiest. No, my last name starts with
Who's
a B.
the hottest kid? That teacher's fired.
In these times, yes.
All right,
At
line up hottest ugliest.
But back in the 90s, you could do whatever you wanted, you know?
That's true.
Jimmy to the back.
They'd be like, you're ugly. Back of the bus for you.
Learn to brush your teeth. I feel like you get that first try when you're younger and they're gonna fall out no matter what. I can give you a pass, but once they're pulling
they're
a reel,
in.
you gotta brush those puppies.
That's tough.
I don't know if I could like being like a teacher nowadays would be so hard, which is
Oh
also
my
tangent
gosh.
because like the things you can and can't say. I was around 2 toddlers on Saturday, like
Yeah.
at my friend's house, and she has 2 toddlers, and I said the F word
Yeah, that's a tough
6
one to
times.
pull out.
And every time I was like, and she'd be like, it's okay. Like the little one doesn't even know. And it's like this baby blob that's just like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but like,
it's not
God,
really
it's hard.
absorbing it.
I also
It's
think
hard.
it's so fucking funny when toddlers swear.
oh, I know.
I know.
Well, that
Yeah.
was the other thing she said. She was like, well, every now and then the 3-year-old goes like, fuck you. And it's like, you can't
very
laugh
funny.
though
I
as the
know.
parent. You can't reinforce it. But she's like, I crack up.
But
laughing.
also, I'm like, why? Like, we've made up this fake rule. Like, what?
Like these words that are
what's gonna
fake.
happen? Like, this
Yeah.
3-year-old runs up to you and is like, "Fucking asshole," and like, what?
And
What's
that
the
would be
consequence?
hilarious.
I
if they
think if
did.
you can teach them, like, you know, there is something I suppose to like decorum in a
Well-
nice space, or you know, because
Yeah.
I remember my sister had brought this guy home and he was like really cussing up the storm the first meeting at Thanksgiving dinner, and it's like, look, we've
Yeah.
cussed.
Well, you have to learn it as an adult.
Thanksgiving.
That's different.
Yeah.
Like, I think like letting the kid, like before they know, you have to
My
then teach
mom-
the rules of like
Yeah, I think it's
school
sort of
and
like don't get in trouble at school for this. You can say it at home here and there.
My mom taught us to swear in Maltese when we were younger,
smart.
and she would only swear in Maltese around us so that we would repeat that, and we
That's
wouldn't get in
smart.
trouble at school.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did not get lucky because I learned to swear in Polish and half of Chicago
Oh, I
is
was gonna
Polish.
say,
so
like, couldn't you get away
I
with
was walking
it?
around like kurwa, and the ladies were like, "What did you say?"
You're like nothing.
Not me.
What's the swears in Maltese and Polish? What's shit?
The shit is there's not. Well, the thing about Maltese is like, I think like Greek is like this too. Instead of just having like a word like shit or fuck, they're like horrible. They're like, I hope your mother dies in a pool of cum or something. Like that's literally the meaning of one of the things.
She almost did.
Yeah. You should have seen it. There's
on a
the
true story.
swearing in like it's almost like an Arabic Italianish
Okay.
hybrid language. Swearing in that part of the world is next level. Like they don't even say fuck. You'd say like ha madonna shidwe, which I shouldn't say this because like my grandparents
Please don't
rolling in their
listen.
graves. But
I was like, "Are they listening?"
no rolling in their graves. But like
They're watching.
yeah, instead of they're watching
Tough.
from above.
Tough.
From above because they're Catholic. But it's like horrible things. It's like there's one that's like my cousin who lives there and he teaches me and he'd be like, Libaskadut is just a thing you say like if you can't find parking. And I was like, what does libaskadut mean? And it means like dusty cum. Like you're so old that your cum is like dust. Like how
That's a
weird
good
is
one.
that?
I feel like I've
like that.
experienced that with a man.
Yeah.
I really did one time.
Like,
I was like, how is your cum so
It's
dusty?
just dusty.
It was strange.
But yeah,
It's coming out like chalk.
Yeah, it was really dusty. I still think about it.
I don't like
He went on to
that.
date my friend. I haven't really had much of that experience. Like I don't really have overlap. in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is your friend had the same?
I'm gonna talk to her about it.
It would be
soon.
great if your friend takes you to lunch one day and she's like, you know what?
Did he have
really
dusty cum?
dusty
Was his cum dusty for you? I was like,
I missed that Sex in the City episode, but
Oh my God.
I couldn't
I know,
help
I
but
can't
wonder.
describe it because I haven't experienced anything like that since. What is that?
Wait,
I
like-
don't know. I'm
Okay, wait, hold
curious now.
Wait, Beth, like, was
What?
it liquid?
I know. I'm
Genuinely
it was like it felt. Now it wasn't sandy hard. It was,
Was it like grainy?
it felt kind of like that. It was like dry. I know this sounds crazy, but
Well,
Maybe
I'm
he
like,
was
was
really
he sick?
dehydrated.
maybe he was dehydrated. I remember he was the guy who was like, I just kind of wasn't. I had a crush on him for a really long time.
Yeah.
Then it kind of happened. It was just me being like,
You could
young
say
in my
that might give you
20s.
the ick.
Yeah, well, it kind of did.
Yeah.
And I remember him at one point being like, what is it too big? And I was like, what? When like that's your first assumption?
You're like, no, you're like fucking
I'm
shooting.
dissociating to another world. Yeah, I'm not present because
You're shooting
it too big?
chalk at
Yeah,
me.
I was
Sorry,
like,
it's too big
I
for
would
you.
love your confidence, sir. I mean, anyway, he's not a bad guy.
I would
but
fucking love the confidence
But
to be like,
what-
oh, is it too big?
think
I'm
about
sorry.
it. We all have had different types of cums for sure.
Yeah.
Some of them like taste like poisonous because maybe they're an alcoholic or something,
Oh, is that
or
a thing?
they eat badly.
Is that why?
Well, isn't there the whole thing like if you eat pineapple, you're I don't
Right,
I don't
there
know.
is the pineapple.
There's the
rumor.
pineapple
I
thing
do
from
think-
like middle
Yes,
school.
cum can taste bad if the person's like extremely unhealthy.
No,
mean,
I
it
know it
tastes
could
badly.
taste bad. I just didn't know that was
you
the
are
cause.
what you eat.
Yeah. Yes, I think it's
Cautionary
related to
tale.
that. Obviously, water consumption.
Yeah. I
My
think
boyfriend
maybe
was
he's
really
dehydrated.
This is an interesting thing
Did
about
you just say my boyfriend's fixed?
Yeah.
Wait, like a dog?
yeah. So he shoots blanks because he has had a vasectomy, and
You called him human fix?
yes. And I will say, first of all, it's wonderful for sex and intimacy because
Yeah, I mean,
that's
that's
like one more thing you're not really worried
Great.
about.
Oh, because you have some like funny material on birth control.
Well, if you're into birth control bits, there's about a 10-minute
Wait.
chunk, and if you didn't want me, then on Netflix.
and this
When
is
you
a-
asked about Yaz, I was like, me,
I
it's the worst.
was like, I've been personally victimized by Yaz.
and I got prescribed it like within this decade, so that's why I'm kind
That's
of
fucked up.
reading
I
of the
can't believe
birth control symptoms is like one of the best pieces of performance art
Thank
ever.
you.
But hold on, this is like, I feel like you like cosmically hit the jackpot that you
Yeah.
ended up with somebody who is fixed after all your material about
I agree.
birth
I don't have
control.
to take a birth control. And
That's
I have to
great.
wear a condom.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and if you think about it, I remember the first time, like, if you have sex and someone comes in you, usually just go to the bathroom
Yeah,
and
does
pee
something
afterwards, no
come
matter
out?
what. It was like so clear, and at first I was like, "That's so strange."
what
They're like,
comes
"Well,
out?"
There's no semen in it.
Oh, there's
Oh.
so the
Like
semen is what
clear.
makes it like white.
Whitish.
So it's like it's a clear fluid.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yes.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here
We're
first.
Delicious cum made by Adam.
He'll really like the plug because he'll listen to this. You know, he loves you on podcasts. So
He's not gonna think there's a filter on this one.
special shout out to our friend.
To our fixed friend.
But that's really
friend.
interesting though, because I don't know anyone personally who's gotten a vasectomy. Well, thank you for sharing that
No
because I
problem.
actually hadn't thought about it, but it's very interesting
No
that
problem.
it's clear.
Yeah.
Huh.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Science.
Gotta try it
You
now.
know?
Gotta find me a fixed man.
What is your most embarrassing moment if you were one of these people that wrote in for
I
us?
know. I'm trying to think
You
of
have
a really
anything?
for the longest time. I think you take pride as a comic and be like, nothing embarrasses me. I talk
Yeah.
about everything. But I absolutely have been embarrassed. I'm trying to think of a time where like I got red.
And
I feel like I get embarrassed.
Stepped on stage or something, or
So many of these just involve farting at a bad time,
yeah,
which is funny. We
Which
got
is also
so many.
hilarious to me that we're like in, year 2024 of well, we could talk about that, but like 2024 and we're all like still like, oh my God, they farted. And
I
it's like,
know.
But see, as to me, I would be so embarrassed. Like,
no, of course, especially in the wrong
What
time.
is so embarrassing about farting? I think it's because
why
it's
is
an
burping okay?
unpredictable sound.
Yeah.
It's an unpredictable sound. It's the loss of control. That's why some people
Yeah.
can't reach orgasm with someone because it's like the
You have to let
loss
yourself
of
go.
control. You have to let yourself go.
We actually got one that I came and I farted at the same time. I I literally didn't include all the farting ones because I was like, I don't want this to be a farting podcast.
Yes.
But that's embarrassing.
I mean, farting during sex, it's like it's all down there. Like it could totally happen.
and it's funny, and hopefully you're with a
know.
partner and you laugh, and that's honestly, I think laughing during sex is like very underrated. I think it like
Yes.
makes sex way better if something funny happens.
I know. Sometimes like
Or, like,
the
a
choice is
crack.
to ignore. Like
I,
a
uh,
fart.
Yeah.
The choice to ignore kind of helps.
I will say that
sometimes.
my embarrassing thing that has happened and continues to happen during sex, it's not that embarrassing, but like, I'm in my 30s, like things pop and crack. Like,
Yeah.
I get out of a chair and it's like,
Right.
So like pretty much like there's always a time, like I remember having sex with somebody for the first time specifically who I'm not married to, so it's fine. But like, I literally like my hip like dislocated and it's like, like, do I need to take you to a chiropractor?
I need to
It's
take a
like,
break.
Sorry. Or like your knees pop every time.
Yeah. When you're on top, it's like.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm creaky now.
I talk in my sleep, and that makes me nervous that
About
I'm like
what you might say.
letting out the CIA
Well,
secret.
yeah, you could never be in the CIA. This is strike two.
Damn it. I'm
The
sorry.
code is
Strike two.
2022.
Should we do some speed round?
Love a speed round.
Worst first date story.
Oh.
Or like a bad hookup.
Yeah.
Could be not a proper date.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't have to be a
I
proper
did have a
date.
bad hookup where like it was kind of like a friend, and we're like, see how this goes, and I really wasn't into it, but I was like kind of trying because they're a lovely person.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "We bite my nipples," and I was like, "I actually have to go to the bathroom." Because here's the thing, there's no shame in that. You should never
Yeah.
feel like if somebody needs something or wants something,
Yeah.
like I'm the last person to be like, "Ew, that's weird." Like never do that to someone. Just be like, you know what? That's not. I think I need to go to the
I
bathroom.
gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
just sort of come back and be like, I'm just feeling differently.
Did it
than
ruin the
you are
friendship?
at the moment. No.
Oh,
we're
that's
fine.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, because you don't want to shame somebody. It's not like I
Yeah.
think that's so weird. It's just that I
But I
wasn't
mean, just
there.
like the hooking up
I'll
in
do
general.
I'll do any kind of crazy thing for the person I'm with now. If he was like, "Hey, could you
no, totally. I thought.
dress up like a?"
Oh, it wasn't even the biting the nipples that put me out. It was
Right,
the idea that I thought just like you guys, trying, then
The
maybe.
trying,
the
and it
trying
not
to be
working.
the
And-
hook
and then
and
yeah, I don't
friends.
think we were both there. And then you're dealing at that point in time. It's like you're dealing with a condom, and then it's like if it's
He
not,
wasn't fixed.
You think he was not fixed? Yeah.
I died over
there was
fixed
there
as
was
a
several
person.
issues with that particular
Well,
one.
I'm glad you're still friends.
Yes, we
That's like a
that's
net
a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel very good about
If
that.
you didn't ruin the friendship, you're
yeah,
golden.
we've remained friends. I've dated comics enough to know that I shouldn't do that again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is dating comics like brutal?
You know what? Obviously, you can justify
It makes
anything.
sense, but
you can
then-
go, I
yeah.
must date a comic because they get my life and we're always that way and they don't ask me questions because they get it, Or you can be like, I gotta date a civilian because I want to be
Yeah.
able to come home and not have to talk about it. And
Director is a good combination of like
Yeah.
civilian and person in the industry.
yes, and
think.
also I
gets your life.
respect him. He came up learning everything.
Yeah.
So he's done all kinds of jobs from PA to camera op. So I think like I love someone who's like really actually into what they're doing and progressed and experienced all kinds of different
Yeah.
jobs.
We're big fans of your boyfriend.
He's
We
good
know a
man.
lot about him. So.
Yeah, I'll show you pictures before I leave.
If you could Freaky Friday for a day, just with any living human for a day and go back, who would you Freaky Friday with?
And we get their mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it's just you and their body.
You're
It's you
you're
and
in their body. You're in their body. Wow.
So whose body
Fact
could you
check me.
use? I know whose body would I want? I guess Beyonce,
It'd be fun.
right? Because she'd just be like, it'd be so cool to look at yourself in the mirror and
Yeah.
see Beyonce.
I would literally just be like staring at myself all day.
I know.
I am so talented.
We haven't gotten
I look
Beyonce.
good in everything.
We haven't gotten Beyonce. We get Oprah a lot.
I would I would go into Beyonce's house, press play on my special, and then stop it, and then
Watch it as
continue
me.
watching Beth Stelling the next day.
Oh, just like run that over and
It's
over.
Jay-Z. Like I'm sliding. It's
Run
like, oh,
those
what's
numbers up.
this?
What are you watching? I don't know. I'm just really into this new comedian I discovered.
I'm gonna put it on my
think
Instagram.
But you stay here because I don't know anything about you. I'll be back in a couple hours. Mr. Z. I still love you, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
Mr. Z is.
Have you ever had any like really awkward celebrity encounters?
Yeah. One time, Jamie Foxx, I was on the Sony lot doing some punch up, and Jamie Foxx started walking towards me with, he was wearing the backpack that has a boombox in it. And
Is that a thing he does normally?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Wherever Jamie is, there's a party. But obviously, he's brilliant, funny, wildly talented, very handsome. And I was like so nervous, but I was in my car, which could have been at the time either. I forget if it was the Prius or I eventually worked up to a Prius, but it might have been my mom's Mercury table. Anyway, he comes up in the window and I was like this to get a picture, which I never do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like working in it, I'm always trying to be like, remain very calm
Yeah.
and not care, but not like make anybody uncomfortable. But I like got a picture of us like this. And then I went to pan to me like that. And that's the minute he walked away. Like the minute I took the camera off of him to go, he was like, bye. So
That's not that
I
bad.
drove away going, I should have just kept it on him the whole time.
That's not that awkward.
How could I
I thought you were
take
going to
the
say you
camera
like
off
ran
of
over
Jamie?
his foot or something.
There's something to be said about like, I want to be an actor and how much that has changed.
But you also
Yeah.
think that's like a working thing versus being like zoo
Yeah.
animaled, which now is so different than how it was obviously back in the day when it was just
Yeah.
like somebody with like an autograph book. Like now
But-
it's like you'll end up on TikTok or something.
yeah, I'm surprised marriage hasn't gone down in terms of Instagram being so popular. In the sense that like your wedding used to be like the only day you got your photo shoot, and now everything's a photo shoot. I'm surprised people I felt like would get married just like for the photo shoot.
Oh yeah, I feel like
So I'm kind
people
of like,
do.
I'm surprised marriage is still popular. You can have a wedding every day. On
You can
Instagram.
have
No,
a photo
truly, you could just hire you
Just
don't even
here's
need to hire
another
a
photo
photographer. Do
shoot.
it yourself.
Just
I think marriage is down though.
okay,
But I
Yeah.
don't think it's
I don't know the official
Instagram,
stats.
Instagram related.
But I do think I
Well,
read that.
Instagram will make you think
Instagram
marriage is
defeated
not
marriage.
down because all everyone posts on Instagram is their big wedding. But
That's
then-
not true. I feel like you are the only one that's so stressed about that. Emily got married recently, and she's like very stressed about the amount of photos. And I'm like, it is your wedding. Post as many
I
fucking
was
photos
so
as you want.
self-conscious about posting
Yeah,
pictures
that's
for
the
my
other
wedding.
thing too. It's like my special is my wedding, and it's like, am I
Yeah.
posting too much about the special? It's like, no, because I might follow you and not even see it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm self-conscious about posting about the
I
wedding.
can understand. We live in
Yeah.
a very strange time.
Yeah.
Weddings are also so intimate.
Not a hot take,
Yeah, that's not a hot take.
but we haven't really fully figured out what it's doing to our brains.
That's what I think is like we have not
we
caught up.
zeroed it on not good.
yeah. And our brains will be studied and with our little skeletons, with the little BBL skeleton. Anyway,
I thought I wanted to get cremated.
I
I'm
think
getting
the
tits
title-
at 80 and fucking and
well,
getting
you have to
buried.
get the tits before you die. I think the
Well,
title
I
of
hope
this
I'm-
episode
I
should
was
be the
planning not
BBL
to die
skeletons.
before
Well, you have
80.
great boobs.
Just
Also.
I know, but I want to see the things and the
Well,
thing.
we'll figure it out.
I like how I'm
Um,
saying I'm going to see them
We have
after
to
my
wrap
death.
you up so you're not
Yeah,
late
sorry.
for Pilates,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
a very Overheard LA thing to say on the Overheard LA podcast.
I have to leave this
Tangenty
podcast.
today.
We are
I have to
tangenty.
leave this podcast to do Pilates.
This is like Pilates for the brain.
We could do some Pilates
We could do
after.
this.
To get warm.
all
It's
day.
so
You guys
cold in
Come
here.
if you live over there.
You are so delightful. Like seriously, we could tangent.
We should also
all day with
acknowledge
you.
that you drove here
Yeah.
through a monsoon, which we appreciate.
Did I hydroplane once to be here?
You guys, like, yeah, you're.
Which, by the way, being from the Midwest, like that's
that's scary.
I know. At least, it's one of those things where I'm not too scared to drive in it. And I do have a little mini SUV type thing. So
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's
I do
good.
feel like you feel much safer.
I was gonna ask if you still have a Prius because we're Prius gals. So
yeah, it was such a big
the
deal
Prius
for
is
me.
so low.
Yeah, the Prius is very low.
Yeah.
But that was like my dream car when I moved here.
I love my Prius.
I was like, someday I'll get a Prius.
Aw.
I know. I was
can't
the
believe I got
same.
to achieve my dream.
So
big deal.
sweet.
And you passed it.
Yes.
You're way past
now I
your
have
dream.
a Volvo.
Oh my!
You got
Oh
a Volvo
my-
and you got off birth
oh my
control,
gosh,
girl. You're winning at life.
She found a fixed man, a Volvo, and
man
a
and a
fucking
Vol-
birth.
She found a fixed man, a fixed car.
But
And-
you can retire.
Follow me to figure it out until I post wedding photos.
Yeah, and then unfollow her because you've missed your chance. Please plug everything, like where everybody can find you.
Yes.
I know we've talked about we'll brag about your specials for you. They're
Thank you,
amazing.
thank you. I have-
And your
yes.
podcast coming out.
You can find me at Beth Stelling, like spelling, but with a T instead of a P, as in turkey. And podcast coming out with Mo Welch called Sweethearts soon. And she actually directed my special, which is on Netflix, came out in October. It's called If You Didn't Want Me Then. I filmed it in Dayton, Ohio, wherever the Hamilton friend is. And then I got that hour on HBO Max. I got a half hour on Netflix you can watch before the hour that came out years ago. Half hour on Comedy Central. Showtime. There's a lot of stuff
Amazing.
out there.
Yeah, you're crushing it. I'm so excited
Thank
for
you.
you.
Thank you
Just
for having
to
me.
like watch your career go. I've been a fan forever.
And maybe I'll
so.
have a pilot that you'll watch past the first episode.
Oh, I will.
I promise you, if you like, we will watch the whole season.
Well, that's our show. You want to do a toodles for us, please?
Toodles.
Toodles.